Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. God is addressed as the father, the mother, the friend. You can have him as your master, you can have him as your son, you can have him as your beloved. And this conception you find in many religions. In Christianity, the soul is considered as a bride of the Lord. And the feeling of master and friend and father is common to all religions almost. So he is not the Almighty up there. He's your friend. He's your all in all. Mind you, in the material world, there is a limit to transcending differences. Suppose you meet a beggar and ask him, where are you going? I'm just popping in to see the queen. You'll be shocked, you'll look twice at the beggar. A beggar and going to the queen, just walking in? But look, in the spiritual world, God is so merciful. He is ready to come down to our level and accept our love. And if you read the history of saints, this is the absolute truth. With their love, they have been able to control the Supreme Almighty Lord Himself. We can understand this through an example in the material world itself. Suppose the judge is sitting in the court, the Supreme Court, and that day his wife and son happen to come to the court itself. Now this little boy wants to run up and he says, Mom, can I go and hug my dad right now? She says, don't you dare, you sit down over here. This is the court of law. Behave yourself, you can't go up to him like that. The wife can't go up to her husband and say, well, I've got a hamburger from McDonald's for you. Would you like to have it, darling? Are you hungry? No, she will sit down over there, a part of the whole crowd. But when this almighty Supreme Court judge, he comes home, and suppose it happens to be raining outside, and he enters into the porch, his wife yells out to him, hey George, just stay out there. Remove your boots before you enter. They're so muddy. Sorry darling, I'll just do it right now. Just look at him, the same court judge. And this little son of his runs up to him, climbs onto him, and he's kissing him and talking to him. That same almighty judge, now in this situation, he's totally different. The same applies to the Supreme Lord. Wherever there is love, He comes down to our level to accept it. Just as we hunger for love, He also hungers for love from His children. We are all His children. And we have misdirected our love. There is nothing new in loving. We all know how to love. What we have to do is just to divert this love. As I said, from falling in love, we go up to rising. You divert it from this temporary material world to the divine. And the second thing we have to remember is, till now we have been loving for the sake of our own pleasure, our own happiness. Now we have to learn that lesson. It's a difficult lesson, mind you, because we have time and again we've been used to, what will I get? My happiness, my happiness, my happiness. It's so much ingrained in us. Now we have to learn a new lesson, to love for the sake of the happiness of the other. In that there are no conditions. This love will not waver. You may have heard of the great saint Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prays to the Lord. For him, Lord was Krishna, because Krishna is accepted as the personification of love. He says to Krishna, Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtuma madarshanan marmaharatam karotuva yatha tathava vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sevana para. My dear Lord, you can only behave towards me in 3 ways. You can lovingly embrace me if you like. I thank you very much, that's lovely. You can even ignore me and pretend that you don't know me at all and go to your other lovers. Or thirdly, you can just trample me and throw me out. But my dear Lord, there will be absolutely no change in my love for you. My love for you will go on increasing irrespective of the way you behave towards me. We have never ever heard of a love like this. Sarvatha dhvansa rahitam satyapi dhvansa karane. There may be a cause for love to come to an end. Circumstances. There are many things that happen in the world, and there is a possibility, every possibility. Somebody is disloyal to you, or as I said, a person loses that beauty. If there is a cause for love to come to an end, and yet love does not come to an end, that alone is real love. So the devotee challenges the Lord that my love for you will not change. In the beginning, this love is very, very difficult. Because our love goes up and down all the time. But once we learn the art of this kind of love, it is very, very smooth. Because there is no stress and strain. Does he love me or not? How much does he love me? And does he care for somebody else? Nothing like that. You're not concerned about that. You're only concerned about loving yourself for the other person's happiness. And such devotion and such love will always be lasting. So love is the heart of all existence. And you hear of so many yogas in the world. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Kriya yoga, Hatha yoga, so many yogas. But the supreme yoga of all is Prem yoga, the yoga of divine love. Because it's love alone that binds, that controls the very ocean, the source of all love, that is God. And we have removed ourselves from that source. Some of you may have heard of the philosopher Paul Brunton. He said man has removed himself from the center of life. When you know yourself and return to the center, then you will be shed of suffering. So we have to go back to that center. That's what our heart longs for, to return to that center. But we don't know about it at all. And that's why we try everything and everybody in the material world to satisfy the desire of the soul. And time and again, we go into frustrations and stresses and strains. So what we have to do is to learn what love is and realize that love is a divine energy, the most intimate energy of the Supreme Lord. That is why God is called love. And we have stolen this word from the divine realm and we are using it amongst ourselves, and that's why we do not experience that fulfillment at all. So make God the pole star, the center of your life. And for that, we have 2 forms of God. Murtan chaiva murtan dvevava brahmano rupe. A lot of religions talk about God as being formless, and some religions accept God to possess a form as well.